Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. I'm so excited for this video today. It's a little bit long and it rambles because that's just my life and that's what I do. But I am talking about how I stay active with my chronic illness. My child never wants to stay out of nothing. No! But it's how I stay active with my chronic illness, how I've lost 30 pounds. There is a ton of resources. I'm going to link them below. Make sure to check out the blog that goes with this video. That will be linked as well. But yeah, it's pretty much just how I use activity as a vestibular training to retrain my vestibular system. And I hope you guys enjoy it. Let me know in the comments if it helped and what you do to stay active with your chronic illness. Love you guys all. And yeah, keep on watching. Morning, everybody. Hope everyone's having a great day. I don't know about you. Oh, and I have the hiccups or where you're at in this world. But I'm in North Carolina, and these fall days as we move into fall are just so beautiful and starting to get a little bit crisp in the morning. So I've been taking total advantage of that. So as you see today's video, I'm gonna vlog how I work out with a chronic illness. Once I have the hiccups, I'll now have them a million times a day. I don't get them often, but when I do, they become super unbearable and I will get them 10 times. But anyways, I thought I would talk about how I work out with my chronic migraines and vertigo, and how I manage that. A lot of people that I realize that deal with this, because when we're in the acute phase of things, a lot of people, because we're not moving, we do gain weight. So recently I lost 30 pounds through diet and exercise. I will link the products that I use, the system that I use that lost me 30 pounds in 2 months. It was awesome, and it's really seemed to also help my migraines as well. You definitely don't need like a special program, but I like programs because it keeps me on a system. I like list and task and know what to take, when to take, instead of just kind of like flying off the seat of my pants kind of deal. So anyways, like I said, wanted to talk about working out, how to stay active when you're sick, and some things that I do that are vestibular friendly. I try to walk every single day, at least 10 to 15 minutes with my son. And so this is at a very leisure pace because, he's not even 2. So, it's not like we're full on cardio here. Plus, it's really good for my vestibular system to retrain it and not go at a pace that's too much for me. I find any strenuous activity really triggers, if not a migraine, at least a headache. So I avoid anything that's too strenuous at this point. Some other things that I recommend if you are going to be, if you decide you want to walk, I think walking outside is much better. Walking outside for me is easier than walking on a treadmill. I hate the feeling of getting off a treadmill with a vestibular system. I don't know if you guys can relate to that, but it is like walking on a trampoline when you get off, or bouncing on marshmallows, as I like to call it. So I stay away from gym equipment except for an elliptical. I don't do bad on those. So I prefer to work outdoors, and I prefer to walk in more residential areas rather than a big open space. For some reason, like a big track that's open will trigger me. I don't know if it's because there's so much open space. So as I was saying, this video is going to be kind of all over the place because I do walk with my son. It helps me retrain my vestibular system and it gets him some energy out. So we just killed 2 birds with 1 stone. But anyways, I tell my fellow vestibular people who reach out to me, about what kind of workout do I do, how do I stay active. I always tell them to find a partner. I don't ever like to walk alone. And when I walk with my son, I do stay near our house just in case anything happens. But I always recommend going with a friend. Don't do open spaces. So yeah, I avoid open spaces when I go for a walk. Big tracks, anything that's open, or I feel like I'm too exposed will trigger me. I don't know why, but I like residential. I love hiking trails, walking past, that sort of thing. But unless I'm with like my fiance or my mom, I typically just stay right in my neighborhood. So I definitely recommend getting you a walking buddy, getting you somebody that you feel comfortable with and that kind of knows what may happen, and start a small walking. I do set a goal for myself of 15 minutes of walking every day, Monday through Sunday. Again, that's just a goal. That's not anything that I follow strictly, because I do know with vestibular issues that anything can happen. I will have stretches of really good days, and then we'll have a day or two where I'm really bad. The best thing I found was to give myself these goals, to write them down on paper, to know that this is what I am aiming to achieve. But I have taken the pressure completely off of myself to stick to any strict guidelines. As I was getting better, I really found I put a ton of pressure on myself to do more and more and more. And then when I wasn't able to do it, I went into a very negative spiral of guilt and shame. So I decided to let go of those notions. I decided to let go of any notion of having to get something done, having to do this, and letting my body kind of lead the way. So I think that's another huge thing, is when you are starting to want to get more active with your vestibular migraines and retrain your brain, let go of any notion that you have to do something. You have to, hit those goals every single day, because what's important is that you're trying. And if your body is not allowing you to do that, give your body what it needs for that day. Let it rest. Let it recuperate. Let it rejuvenate. Don't worry about, don't worry. The best thing I ever did for myself, and it has worked in so many aspects of my life, is letting go of that notion that I have to just do and do and do, and not listen to my body. Somebody's ready for a nap. We got sidetracked because the landscapers are at our apartment today, and Jack's obsessed with tractors. I know. He loves tractors and cars. As you see in the clips, he wants to touch everybody's car. So, wish me luck. Get the baby to sleep. And that's another reason why I really walk every day, is because it definitely gets him ready for his afternoon nap. But I wanted to finish the rest of my tips for trying to stay active with a vestibular migraine issue, or really any chronic illness. I feel like these tips relate to anybody. So another thing that I always do when I am being active and going out for a walk, I always bring my rescue medication. And so that looks different for everybody. Mine consists of meclizine, and then I have a combination of ibuprofen, Tylenol, just in case, because my vertigo is almost like an aura to a bad migraine. So I'll get it, and then if I get it really badly, then I know like a migraine's coming, so I'll take that. I don't have to take abortives anymore because it's really well managed, so really lucky when it comes to that aspect of it. But I always keep it in like a little fanny pack. It's funny, but I'll link it below. A fanny pack, or like a wristlet. And a lot of times I don't need it, but it definitely gives me the confidence to know that if something happens while I'm out walking or hiking, that I have my medication with me, and knowing that like I'm in control of taking care of my health. And that is such a confidence boost. So if you don't, if you're afraid, I was always, when I first started this journey, I was really afraid of something happening when I was out. Once I learned what medication worked for me, then I definitely grew confidence, and having that medication with me is very helpful. Little tip too is to sometimes we'll take a walking stick. So I'm not super comfortable with like a cane kind of deal, but canes are great too. But I take a walking stick with me if it's a tougher day. And that also gives me a little bit of confidence knowing that I have something to kind of grab onto or hold on to when, if something happens. I try not to think of the ifs and the anxiety of it. I really push that away. And that's why I use these tools to know that has helped my negative thinking and the worry. He's so tired. But it's helped my negative thinking to know, I have these tools in place so that it combats any worries that I may be going through at that time. So, and they're inexpensive. I got one at like a fun little, because I'm in North Carolina, so we have the coolest little crafty shop. So I got one there, and I don't use it a lot, but I know if I'm going to go hiking or if it's a tougher day, then I definitely will take my walking stick, and it gives me the confidence to know that I have something without having to really rely on anyone else. So definitely invest in one if that's an option for you. And honestly, the benefits of walking, it's been, aside from medication, it has been the number like 1 or 2 things that has helped me get better. Staying consistent and getting my blood pumping, it really helps retrain your vestibular system, which is so important. The more you lay around and sit around and really don't push yourself in a healthy way, you're just not going to get better. And that was a really hard thing I had to learn, was me being lazy instead of like taking care of myself. So, we all have days where we really need to take care of ourselves, and that may look like staying in bed and watching Netflix and pigging out. But I found that even, I was using that too much as a crutch, being, oh, I'm sick, so I get to stay in bed. So for me, I had to push myself. Again, safely on days where I wasn't terrible, but I wasn't bad. That I knew I could do it, I would push myself. And again, I would do it in very small increments, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. And now, I can do a 20 to 30 minute walk, no problem, with my son. And like I said, the benefits of it have been amazing. I've been able to get off my abortive medication. Also, walking is the best thing for brain fog. For me, I have found that if I am in a really bad brain fog, depersonalization symptom, which I do get as an aura, which is awful, and I know a lot of people struggle with brain fog, a good 10 to 15 minute walk outside is the best thing for it. It almost every time eliminates it for me. Definitely try to stay active. Get somebody that you trust, get somebody that you can feel comfortable walking with, and see if these tips and tricks help you. So now that Jack's asleep, I'm gonna go ahead and do my strength workout, and I do this maybe 2 to 4 times a week. Again, I don't put time constraints and I don't put absolute days. I literally map my week out from Monday to Friday. I use the Happy Journal, and I write down my goals for the week. And so this is always one of my goals, is just to do some very light strength training, or some very, very light, intermediate cardio. I do very well with that. So I'm going to show you guys just a quick routine of what I do. And it's very vestibular friendly, so hopefully it helps. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it could be a little crazy and hectic. My life is just crazy and hectic. So, but I hope that you get some tips and tricks from this, and you decide to be active and try to get on an active plan. I know it's super hard when you have a chronic illness, but I do hope this helps, and to know that you're not alone. I came from a place being bedbound for 3 months where I practically didn't do anything, to where I am now. So, of course, consult your doctor before starting any plan to make sure that they are okay with it. But let me know in the comments what's helped, what you're doing, if there's anything that you think I should add to my plan. And as always, stay healthy. Love you guys so much. Make sure to subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Bye.